Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started. So hello and welcome to the last session for the challenge where we get to see some results. Being led by Léon, but we'll have 7 presentations. So we'll have a number of speakers as we did earlier in part 2. They're not all the same, but we'll get to see some results live. This session is scheduled to last 90 minutes, including time for question at the end. We're giving each of the presenters 10 minutes. I'll go over that in just a bit. The session is being recorded and will be made available in the replay section of the event as soon as possible. Before I hand it over to Léon, I would like to remind you this is a hybrid event. For online attendees, your microphones will remain muted for the duration of the session. If you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please use the chat box in the control panel. For the attendees here in the room, please keep background noise to a minimum. And if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please raise your hand and we'll pass the microphone around. I would also like to bring to your attention that buildingSMART is committed to ensuring that participation in the development of standards is unrestricted and the process for their adoption is transparent, and standards that are developed do not favor any particular provider and are open, non-binding, and accessible to all. Please take note of our antitrust code of conduct. Even if you cannot click the link right now or have time for the QR code, it is always available on buildingsmart.org. Ground rules, Léon, do you want to?
Yeah, this is like the 3rd session we have by now, so ground rules are the same. No PowerPoints, preferably. Really show the actual software, show how it works. Only data from the challenge. So again, probably see a lot of waffle makers today, as we did this morning. And stay within the time. We have 7 speakers in 90 minutes, including the switching. So I'm going to set an alarm, 10 minutes. Yesterday I said I'm going to pull the cable, but apparently we're doing everything online now. So Jeff is going to remove you from the stage. And please also, I really want to give everyone 10 minutes. So if they do it in 5, there's a couple of minutes for questions. But if they use the 10 minutes, save your questions until the end, because I really want everyone to have a fair 10 minutes.
And you can come up here, sit in front if you'd like, and use that microphone. We can hand you the mic and use it.
So just to double check, 7 presenters. ODA, of course, is the most important one. I'm just kidding. I forgot about ODA. That's why I'm starting it now.
So BIM Permit, ACA, BIMWorks, Celebri, Blender BIM, Bexel, and ODA.
And I see not everyone is online yet. So for those who are not online, please, I see Andre has a question about how to get online. Yeah, got it. So who wants to start?
Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Again, my name is Andre from VSK Software in Germany. We have a product, BIM Permit, and yeah, now you see the product, the model is loaded, and now we have here the IDS file from this morning with the 4 different requirements, and yeah, I basically can select here different IDS files, upload them. I showed how to edit and import, export them yesterday. Then you can also select partial rules of it if you just like to check one part of one specification. And then you could also select, okay, which model I like to check. In this case, we only have one model, so I just check everything. And then I can execute it. And on the left-hand side, I see, okay, how many numbers were successful, how many not in the specifications. And then I can dive into and see, okay, what objects were successful, which objects were not. And we see in this case, we have stair flights and stairs, where stair flights are part of stairs, and depending on where you define the specification. In this case, it was defined for height of both. So we have some positive and negative objects. You can dive into and see, okay, here, some classification may missing, and in the other one, you can see it here. You can push it to the geometry directly. Yeah, either way here to colorize it, or in this case, it makes more sense to make other objects than transparent or invisible. It could also select one of the objects and then retrieve the properties and see, okay, in this case, we don't have any classifications here. For example, if we select the other one too, we will see that, so it's not selectable, it has no geometries, right? So in this case, not possible. Yeah, second example, when we look at the beams, we have also some positive, some negative. We have some properties here, and we could also inspect them then in the property thing and see here, okay, I have my property. What do we have here? Concrete cover has a number in this case. I don't know if it was right, but we didn't set any data type and restriction to the value yesterday. So for this case, it's very fine. Maybe because of the waffle maker, there is a case here in we said yesterday that it was an IFC element proxy, and that could have a specific classification. So in this case, if you show you, we have a lot of proxy C which were tested. So the right way here would be to filter it first. So that not applies 100%, but what we can do, we can find out. Let me see here. I have some. We can just select it and then look. Okay, it's called 78 block of 3D 7836, and then we can type it here and inspect it manually. So we have a filter again and see, okay, we have some kind of classification here, but there is any mistake with the system. If we look here further into the classification, we see, okay, there's an error with the classification string, and upon this, the reference, so the reference code is not checked anymore because we have to take care of that you don't mix up multiple classifications. So that is how does it work in our software, and what you can do now to transport it to other software. You can export everything to BCF, yeah, for this model and this rule set, and then you can go into your software of choice and import the issues you have. So I like to open here current BCF file, and then you see all the issues if you have objects which were not fulfilling it. And let me see, for example, for the stair flights. Yeah, we see the stair flights here, and now the configuration is that we export all failed objects and mark them. It will be configured in future. So, for example, you could make other objects here also transparent. I think that is clear from the workflow. And yeah, the last thing I want to show you is we made some examples here, but we already did it in working projects in Germany. So we have a pilot project for digital building permits, and we set up a modeling guideline, and we completely did it in IDS to have a digital representation, a lot of numbers of requirements. And for example, you have here an example with the doors. Western family was updated and the parameters were missing. And if you begin to do that technical checking, it's very important to have these requirements fulfilled. And that's all for my presentation, and I'm very happy to answer questions and give to the next customer, the next presentation.
Yeah, thank you. So including the hop-in sharing issues, you still had 6 seconds left, so perfect timing. That does mean we need to move on to the next one to make sure we are on time. Yeah, can you hold the questions till the end? Or if you're quick until the next one is set up?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you each implementer. It's a second though, so they're very few. One. So do you actually run the verification, the auditing of the IDS before running with this?
Yeah, I think we had the question before, but there were some little issues I wanted to ask because of the parameter list that was yesterday. So that would be interesting to discuss because we didn't set up in the specification. Yeah, but that I think must be fulfilled. But yeah, I was wondering why it was not uploaded, but I can run the test. If you have different results. Or
No. I was just asking if your user interface presents to the final user the result of the audit.
Okay.
I will explain the reason why it's not.
Okay. All right, next one.
Okay, thank you everybody again. Good afternoon. I'm going to show you the result of the check. So let's open my model and open our ASBIM IDS. I select the IDS from ASBIM. I selected this one that Léon changed this afternoon, but it's the same result. In this example, we have 2 errors just to show you something, because otherwise we have no errors. It's more difficult to show you this part. So we have 2 errors. They are already highlighted here, these 2 walls. And here we have all the 4 specification. If I click here, I have just a quick review of the info about the IDS. If I select here, I have the specification info again. I can read in English normal text, the model must contains and all this stuff. Here I have an issue report if this specification has some issue. If I click here, I have all the IFC elements related to this specification. And this for each of one. If I click here, this is red because we have some errors here. The walls, the first 2 walls have something something wrong. And if I click on the single IFC elements, I have here the problem, the issue. So in this case, property not found, error 3, we have coded the errors. So in this case, we have a property not found. In this other case, we have the property is invalid value because there is a letter S more. So basically, we have a quick view of everything. We can, we can select each of these elements. So I click here, I select the elements, each one of all together. I can, for each specification, I can give a color and see the specification colored by the element colored by specification. I can create an automatic coloration. So if I do in this way, if I go here, I click color by specification, I get all the FC element color differently based on the specification they belongs to. So I can have this view. And there is another view, color element by issue, because we have, for each issue, we have error code and a color. So when I color by issue, they became color in different way. Now we have just 2 types of errors, and so it's not very colored, but believe me, it's quite, usually it's more colored. I can also show the error code directly on the IFC model. So this wall has error 3.1. 301 means not found, property not found. 302 is property value wrong. Anyway, here we have all the specification and the type of errors that you can find for the for facet. And here we have a new view of the bugs. by a table view, so I can add more columns here, and or I can order the colors, or I can group the columns by code or by IFC element, and so on. After that, just to be quick, I can download the issue in a different format. I can download it in okay. If I go to, I can download it in a BCF format. I can in CSV and Excel format. And also I have I can download a specific report of the issue with all the information about any specification, how many errors, what type of errors. In this case, it's very simple because we have just 2 errors. Oh, this one. We can also download the IDS file. Yeah. So as I show you, we can download the BCF file, ask to someone else to change the files, the IFC files, the properties, but we want to work in another way today. We'll try because it's a BMIS collaboration. So let's collaborate with someone else in another place. So other 2 guys are collected here, the Teresa and Giuseppe, that I want to say thank you because they are connected here. I can ask them to update the property. So I ask Giuseppe to update the first property. To add the property. Giuseppe, please update the property. Meanwhile, I change the property by myself by using as BIM editor. So I select this wall and come here. Confirm. Wait for Giuseppe. Giuseppe, okay, he's doing it. No, it's quite fast, but we like to do this type of presentation, quite live and done. So I come here, I launch again the validation. Oh, sorry. Validation is okay. So the 2 properties has been added and updated. If I click here and I go to the property set, I see that now the property should be yes with 1 S. Where is it? Okay, here. And the other one, just believe me, it's changed. It's been added. But now I just want to show you something more. Just ask to Teresa. Teresa, please move the waffle. I don't like this place. So I don't touch anything. My hands up. She has selected the waffle machine. You can read the name. And they should move. Oh, okay. This is Teresa, the avatar of Teresa. So, and this is Giuseppe. They are watching the same waffle. They are real men. So if we go here, we can see them as well. I hope so. Yeah, Teresa and Giuseppe. Hi, hello. Oh, the camera is already, yeah. Hello, Giuseppe. Giuseppe, hello, Teresa. And yeah. But at the end, please, Teresa, remove the waffle machine. I prefer pizza, so please remove it. That should be again hands up. Okay. And it's gone. If I come here, I validate again. So we have one error, buffer machine missing. Error 201. No elements found. So this is another way to work, really collaboration way, by using video camera, and other stuff, and changing live your IFC altogether. Thank you.
20 seconds left, so they are prepared very well. But needs to be saved. Who's next, Jeff?
BIMWorks.
BIMWorks. Who's after that?
Celebri.
Okay. What was your question?
If you have the results of the check, then you can see the property that was required and the property that was there. And if you send it to BCF, are there new properties added to BCF from required property and actual property?
Actually, a good question. Yeah, that's a bad question.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Here we go. So I've uploaded all the models that were produced already to the system. Personally, I also really like the Echo House, but we've seen it twice now. So, I guess I'll use the BricsCAD model. So here it is. In style, I'm going to just try and start with a voice command again. Go to the waffle iron. I don't know what kind of website that is. Go to the waffle iron. And I can't give a demo as fancy as Andrea gave. At least this works. And I can also say hide the waffle iron. So I don't need to ask my assistant in Italy, but I can just ask the system. It works. Remove the waffle iron. This bit thought it was a model check that I want to execute, so it's a field experiment. Let's get to the IDS checks. So I've loaded the 5 IDS checks that were created, and you can also see that it automatically executed them. It will do that automatically, so if I load a different model, for example, the Echo House, it will show you the results for that model. The IDS files are actually quite different. I saw a few errors in mine. I liked the DIASA one. I'll just switch back to the BricsCAD model and execute that. You can see the specifications, and the will show you the amount of errors and the amount of successes. And you can highlight them. So that's the results. So these are apparently both waffle irons, and this one is a furnishing element, but it is not waffle iron. So therefore, it's red. You can also go to the BIMWorks specifications, for example, the challenge and say some results. So good. You can also iterate through them. So in this case, the objects didn't have names, so that's a bit annoying. You can click on the items. That will show you that it has a property called challenge in the property set summit with the value yes. So, for example, waffle makers in the table will say there is no classification with this name. And it has also detected that in this case the requirement is a BSD requirement, so we can click on this icon and see information directly from the BSD. So it will help you with some information about it. So this is another IDS file that was created. In this case, for example, there were no objects to check. So the credibility phase failed for this one. Sorry. So again, the four different specifications. You can go through each of them. In this case, the construction method was found, and we'll say the property matches the specification. Also, we can, of course, export to VCF, so you can download VCF. You can also look at JSON results, because our solution is actually only supposed to be used through APIs and SDKs. And there's not an end user tool, so this is actually what you will be doing most. Visualize the results from APIs, if you get an idea. So we'll do this for all the specifications combined. I'll try one more thing. Go to the waffle iron and change the color to the most realistic color of the waffle iron. It's extremely slow. That's the processing. Go to the waffle iron. It's okay. Go to the waffle iron. So it has identified that we're using this eating classification apparently, but it's only so I have the back button of my browser. I'll leave it at this. Thank you all for listening.
So while Pasi setting up, there were still 4 minutes left in Ruben's presentation. Anyone has a burning question for Ruben? All right. The next one is Pasi. Who's after Pasi?
After Pasi is Blunderbin.
So just to be clear, we asked all of the presenters to make sure that there's an error in there. Because if you've seen the IFC models from this morning, most of them were valid. The IDS files were good. So we would have had very boring presentations because everything would be valid. So we asked the presenters to intentionally add some errors, like Akka did, for example, and we'll probably see some others as well.
Yeah.
I just ask, are you presenting one software tool or two?
Actually, the plan is that I will show the Documents API and IDS and BCF API.
So do you think that gives you the right to more minutes?
I hope not.
Okay. Good.
All right. So what I'll do is that I have uploaded this to Agonex, this Akka house. So I'm downloading that one. So it will appear here in Solibri. So that maybe that was too quick. So I started this from Solibri, and then it showed the browser UI of Akka, sorry, Agonex. And then I picked this one file from there, and then it appeared in Solibri. All right. So then I will go here, and I will choose First, I will take this. Ooh-ah. That shouldn't have happened. Oh, because that was an IFC file. So, so this is the IDS file. Shows that like a kind of user-friendly way, and then I check it. This IDS file passes. It has no errors. I'll take another one. So I think it was this one that will cause some problems. So this one has some problems. The flight of okay, I added this classification. This actually the IDS file didn't have the classification system specified, so I just added something. So this is not these stairs don't have the classification. So what I can do is that I can add an issue here. Then I will go to BCF Live. I have connected this to Aconex, and I choose this one issue, and then I send it over to Aconex. And then when we go to Aconex, where is it? Oh, what is this? Okay. I hope they're here, the issues. The model is here. And where do I see the issues? Here. Okay, there was I didn't set up the model mapping here in file sync, so need to do this. Maybe I need to click on something and mark it red so that it's sent over again. Let's see. But I can also map it here. But you get the point. So using Documents API to get the model, using IDS to check it, and then BCF API to export the results. Yes.
When is this going to come in the Solidity product, in official?
Well, the IDS is not yet released. The standard is not ready. So we need to get it ready first, the standard, and then once it's ready.
So you're buying more time. Okay.
No. I mean, we could put it as it is, but I don't think there's no point, like, because the standard is not ready.
Is it going to be possible to also create and edit IDSs, or just to import them and run them?
At the moment, we are only, because there are so many systems where you can create IDSs. So we don't. Yeah.
Any other questions? Still quite some time left. Frank, do you want to comment? Documents API, you were part of this. Did you know
Well,
you were?
just comply with the answer to the question that the rest is working. Obviously, the BCF connection between I think the solid case since over 6 months plus.
Well, I would say year.
Or a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, because that's not a formal standard yet.
Yeah. But that's a good standard.
Right, time's up.
I have no beef with it.
It's supposed to be one.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. It's not my fault.
Good point. Any other questions? No, thanks. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, that was the only point, that these two aspects exist and are in production in several projects around the world. Of course, it could be much more, but Albert yesterday set up another session of the OpenCDE discussion, and I think companies and users are invited to just start using it. And if I'm not mistaken, you said on Friday you give your final stamp on it.
Yeah, the 22nd, so in 2 days, the voting is closures, and I only expect positive
So it
votes.
probably needs now marketing to really say these are things which are existing and could be used by the public.
The IDS is also a file which was now on your computer. And you
Yeah, so
load it into the something, but maybe you can connect it.
yeah.
with open API.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's kind of no-brainer to get it also from a server.
We do a webinar on that actually, but apparently only when the standard is fine. Thank you, Pasi.
You're welcome.
All right, next one up is Blender BIM, or under which brand name are you presenting?
My name is Petro, and I'm also known as BIM Voice, but I use Blender BIM, the product Blender BIM. So, does this work? Yes. Perfect. So I did not need to do too much here, because actually in the morning session, for who was here already, I modeled this. This is not just don't be fooled by this joke of a model, because I focused on the metadata and to have the right metadata here and not the geometry. But I had an error, and that error was because I was not seeing something, and it would be cool to just run and show that. And here I'm using Blender BIM. By the way, who doesn't know, this is a free open source tool. You find it at blenderbim.org online. Everyone can choose it. It can use it. And Blender BIM has a tool called inside here. Here on the project overview, and if you go to collaboration and quality and coordination, there is a tool called IFC tester. And here, in my case, I can load an IFC file and an IDS file, right? In my case, because I loaded already this model, I can just click here and load from memory. It will automatically consider this model. And I wanted to generate an HTML report. That's going to be an offline report, so this is not uploaded to any website. And now I'm loading the IDS file from here. And I use this file. By the way, when I modeled this, I started with the IDS, and all the conditions were not met. Everything was red, and everyone who was here saw that everything became green, except one thing, which was this thing here. So after executing the check, you get this report in the browser, and the error was for the waffle maker, which doesn't look like a waffle maker. Yes, it's just a cube, but it has all the properties and everything. But we can see here that we get an error because this eTeam reference, actually, I used eTeam 8. I've seen this used differently in different IDSs, so that's why. So if I go now in my IFC model, and if I go to my, let's see, I need to load the BSDD and eTeam, make it active, and then to classification. And we have it here, and we can see that unfortunately I added this number 8, which is the thing generated my error. And now if I just go back after updating that, I go here, execute IFC tester again, everything passes. Now I will do, as you can see here, I used the AKA IDS. I will take one more, another IDS, because there were some differences, and we will see some errors. And I'll take Beambase in this case, let's say, and I will execute it. And we see that we do not get this right. And if this applicability is not correct, it will not work. And I already see what's the issue here. I see that this is data need to be classified as LXBB, which I don't think is correct, because, and that's for the stair, right? Yeah, so if I go to the stair, if I go here, And if we look at the classification reference, I think the correct classification is LXSB according to BSDD. So that's the reason why it's failed. It's not failed because the data is wrong in the model, but it's the IDS is wrong in this case, and that's why also the requirement will fail. If the application fails, the requirement will also fail. So that would be it. You can download IDSs from each software, and you can run them in Blender BIM for everything. And by the way, this is actually something very relevant for me because I use this in real life in my job as BIM coordinator, because in my project I am not allowed to upload models in any platforms. So I need to keep it. I work with confidential models that I need to not share everywhere. So in this case, this tool works perfectly. Thank you. Just one last thing. If you want, I do a lot of content on YouTube and LinkedIn about this. So BIM Voice, I go by BIM Voice. So you will see many tutorials about how to use this tool. Thank you.
Yeah, I have questions. Well, sorry, I'll go first.
Oh.
So just to.
Oh, okay.
I have 5 minutes left, man.
Okay.
Questions.
Surely.
So just to check if I understand correctly, you start with an IDS. So
yes.
And then you start. As soon as you build objects like stairs and waffle makers and beams, every time you change something, the check runs in the background and you get an update.
You need to click this button, execute IFC tester. If it doesn't run in any background.
But you set up your project, you start with an IDS.
Yes.
Then you create the IFC.
Yes.
And you constantly check.
Yes. And you I think you already you should already have a structure for your project, how you do things and so on. But this is this way, and the nice way is that you can use the classifications from eTeam or other classification systems on top of IFC schema, right? And this is actually, I think, what will happen eventually, and other tools will have this connection. And I think the online ones has also. Yeah.
Next. You've created this model yourself in Blender, probably.
Who was here? Yes.
But what if you open the archive model?
Yes, I can do that too.
Yeah?
I can open another one. Yeah.
Takes a lot of time.
No, it's fine. So here, instead of loading from memory, I'll go here and use. Let's take BricsCAD, for example. Let's see. And we see, but again, the same classification error because of LXBB. And we see that in this case, it needs to be 8.0, and I just change it to 8, and everything else is okay.
Does it show the same thing in the 3D view? You don't see that.
Actually, you don't need to load in the model in Blender BIM. So you can just don't have any model. You can just load it here in this here. What do you mean?
It's 3D, I think.
Yeah, I can load it separately. Yeah, you need to to load the model in the viewer. You want to see it. Okay, that's no problem. For that, you need to go here in the file and open IFC project, and then we go here and loading it from here. And it will take a little bit of time. And it's going to show up here also. But
You were also searching BSDD in the right part of your, or was it local?
Yes, you connect to that library from now. This was not here on Monday or yesterday. Dion integrated this yesterday. So now you just click there, you connect to BSDD, you choose which library you want, Uniclass, eTeam, whatever, and then you add the classification for your kind of objects. This is the model, as you can see it here. And now I can show you that if I go back here to run the IDS, I can again load from memory. It will use this model and the IDS file again here. And let's take Akka again. And there you go. Yeah. You see that again, this was not the process. And something else, Actually, you can do these things even without the interface. You can use this just by using Python, because IFC OpenShell is a
Yeah.
but it's a bit more advanced.
I love it. But
Okay, cool. No other questions?
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Bexel, what's next?
Okay. Okay, we will try to show a best of the two worlds, so desktop and cloud-based, so and how you can communicate. So in this case, new project is added, let's say with one of sample IFC files. Okay. So it's now imported. Okay. And then this, what is shown here in Bexel, you can have a powerful API and you can develop your add-ins and so on. In this case, this is add-in. So everybody could develop or change this. It's fully open source. You can customize this. We had previously used our own standard or in this add-in. And in this standard, you have also additional options, which we hope we'll have in IDS in the future. So you can choose the phase of the project and the use case. So, but in this case, we'll load just, that's why you have the option for phase and so on. So you load IDS. Okay. And just run. And you have the option to execute it across the entire project or just selected elements. And when the data check is finished, you have option to create selection sets, which we will use later for BCF communication. So again, you can create selection sets for all rules or just for selected ones. And maybe you can just show them here. So in each, it's organized in folder structure. Another idea, so BCF should have folder structure in the future if possible, or at least tags. Thanks, Ruben. Okay, and then you now drag and drop this. In this case, we are using BIM Collab because Léon is here, so we have to use something from the Netherlands. I'm just kidding. Of course, this is an integration with BIM Collab. Could be any other BIM client and server. And you have now two options. One, to create a separate BCF file for each of the checks, or a joint one. In this case, we'll go with the separate. So you see 3 IFC files are created. So for each check, and then now you can go and just, please do not go now. But okay, now you can just send it to the rest of the team with BIM Collab, or you can save it as a BCF, and if you're working in a closed environment, not share with the others. Okay, so now, Alexander, if you can change the properties. So like Akka team, I will just ask Alexander, can you change this? You can also ask someone in Italy to do that, but need to have very powerful voice. Okay, we have on the cloud communication and here as well, but it's not prepared. So he's adding new property, value, and so on. And now we will, maybe you can show another IDS, where we added several new rules. So range was added for certain values and additional check for the property. So range is that maybe 0 to 0.6 for a certain value. And this is added is an allowed list. So default must be for that test property. So this is, okay, added. Again, go back. And so now just open again this. So this is fully open. So you can change it, add new functionalities, and so run again across the all elements. And you see a new results. And you see that is 75% and certain is 50% because you have just 2 elements have fulfilled this criteria. Again, create selection sets, and you have even a history here. So you can see the previous results, compare what was better or worse, and so on. Again, you can drag and drop this. If you want, just since we have not synchronized this, we need to manually remove, drag and drop, and now you will see 4 BCF files. It also shows that some elements are missing, so min occurs work. So you need to know that it was not checked or because the elements does not exist. Okay, and now we will publish this. And so another interesting thing, it's almost IFC 5. So in Bexel, you are not dependent on original IFC files. So you can slice the organization per zones, per functional elements, per level of detail automatically. So now Alexander is publishing this to the cloud, and instead of source, you have option to choose any selection set organization. So it's fully customizable and very useful for analysis and use cases, since you don't want to load elements based on the original IFC. But in this case, we'll go with source because it's extremely small. And we will also publish maybe just, okay, both of them you can, okay, maybe just last, but just go with the last. Let's say you decide which selection sets, then color schemas, but I'll show you later how to use this. In this case, we don't have our schedule simulation. I'll show you this later as well. So now this is publishing to the cloud. And so if it's in closed environment, protected data, usually you don't publish anywhere, but if you want now to share with the others, you have this. Okay, it's created. And now we are about to publish a dashboard. Okay, we have several templates, data checks, naming convention, material checks, and so on. But in this case, just the property check will be used. And okay, you use the version right now created. You choose option to automatically load the elements, because on the large files, you don't want to load the entire model with 500,000 elements immediately. So, but in these small projects, you have the option immediately, it's loaded. And now Power BI is generated. And in Power BI, you have a Bexel CDE. So you see, Microsoft technology is slower than ours. I'm just kidding. I know I should work with Apple, but I started with Microsoft when I was a kid, so unfortunately, yeah, I cannot do that. Okay, just refresh data, and here the system is now refreshing this, and you will see interactive dashboards for property checks. Okay, publish this. So you see, just go publish, and now the system, you have a full system of checks. So you can decide, similar like someone else presented, shall I see the elements which does not fulfill rules or fulfill rules? And of course, filter, it's fully interactive. You can see statistics. And I have to say our clients are using heavily this as a way how they can check the models. Okay. This animation you can hide, but on the next last sample will show this as well. So now you see all these numbers. Maybe you can highlight any of this and see. So certain elements fulfill. Okay, certain does not. But show this one with the part. Okay. So you can filter, show me the elements which does have properties within specified type, if the value is allowed. So there's different types of the results. So you can see maybe properties are there, but the ranges are not there, or properties are there, but the value type is not there. So of course, again, fully customizable. So you can develop your own and so on. So, and okay, and then of course you can filter on the opposite way. If you have more properties like uniformed code or any others, then you can go on the right hand side and filter per property across all data checks. So I can see, okay, which element does not have uniform. So you can mix the way how, and of course you can reorganize this as well. Okay, and now just maybe to show how it looks like on a slightly larger model. Have I forgot? Maybe you just open on CD this. Okay, so on a CD, you open any version. Of course, you can define access rights like with everyone else can do, and just load this small model. And in this small model, of course, you have properties, filter this, but you have also this check, so you can see all results and what is missing and so on. And last but not least, okay, you can search properties. Of course, you can filter them, but this is maybe you can show the values or something else. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you can filter per property, but this is standard functionalities like other features, other softwares as well. Just go back to the dashboard for a slightly more complex model. No, just slightly this. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Oh, okay. And the statistics numbers you can filter. Of course, you have in this case 40,000. We have examples with 2-3 million property checks. But if you can just show for the end animation, cannot? Oh, okay. So what you have to see in the construction phase with the color schemas where the elements which does not have properties occur. So you can, based on that, focus on priorities, certain elements in the beginning missing, and so on. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So last one, ODA?
Yep.
Last one, Claudio? Still last one? Okay, so ODA last one.
Start. And I remember you asked not use PowerPoint. I used Google Slides. There were no protection, but I use it. This is the last presentation. It may be some boring sleeping or something like that, and therefore I decided to make it more interactive. So I'm going to certainly to show everything, but everyone can. It's I share again. Yeah. And as the last presentation, as I mentioned, it may be a bit boring, and therefore I'm going to show everything. Yeah, but this is a QR code to the small guidelines, so it's not so big presentation. And you, during my presentation, during the 10 minutes, you are able to download Open IFC Viewer. There is a 3 steps what you need to do, and you are able to check the data by yourself. So it's, if someone want to download, but it's quite simple, Open IFC Viewer, it may be just, and there are just 3 steps: file options, set a folder with IDS files, and plugin models validation. What I'm going to show, I'm already loaded 2 files, Echo files and SketchUp, because no one uses SketchUp, and I think that it's going to everyone waste your time. You try to make this, and I decided to use it. Didn't you? Someone else, but someone decided to add this file as well. So Open IFC Viewer is available for everyone. We provide it like a service for industry, but it needs to also mention that we provide all what we see here. It's maybe the first thing that it's a demo of technology that is provided. So we see here we saw here the SaaS solutions. Here you see the desktop application, but below this you can, just like ODA member, and many here are ODA members, have access to the toolkit and use it in SaaS application as well. So it's like I mentioned it, you need to file options, and in plugins IFC model validation, set up a folder with IDS files. It's right here, BSI Summit. Okay, load the models, and let's try SketchUp, plugin models validation, and data access interface, IFC validation, and IDS validation. The last point we have at the moment at the folder, and that I have 3 files. We run validate, and we have a lot of errors, but many of them in property quantity sets take off. We are not interested in those ones, and we apply filters, and we see less errors comparing with after that we can investigate and see those errors. Yeah. And I would say it's even, we can do the same, just that it works, because I have time yet. It's quite fast. Yeah, and we have make model validation for ARCA file. It's a bigger a bit one, and therefore it took more time. It's not hanging, it works. Don't think. Well, so and these files we have 5,000 errors so I mean we implemented, I would say, full validation of SDI, full validation of IFC, but I'm not sure if anyone is going to use our validation, because in industry there is no files satisfying all criteria that should be in the standard. But okay, we can apply filtering for these ones. Yeah, and if we go to the IDS, it's the same set. It's some quite small set of errors. You can check. Yeah, also in this application is presented BSF file support, and we can add our waffle BSI summit story. Yeah, at topic, no, not yet. A topic, selection site, okay. Story, certainly the first highest priority, and and okay. And we also can save this BSF file. And here you see the 2.0, but also in Toolkit supported the BCF collaboration format 3.1 as well. So I would say that's it, what I wanted to show, and that is open. You can use like to check files in everyday life, and also to use this technology because many of you are our members and Solibri and ACA, and we are happy to see you as our members, and we widely use. Yeah.
The IDS specifications you have, it's something included in the software, right? The IDS checks, you have many hooks there, right?
No. What do you mean? IDS checks? IDS? What?
The IFC validation you showed.
Yeah, IFC validation is inside software. IDS is just the external file.
Yeah, so you imported an IDS file into the software.
So he showed validation where part is just hard-coded check the
Yeah.
IFC file, and the
Yeah.
IFC is according to the schema, to the standards, plus
plus IDS. So those ones I mentioned are not part of IDS. I can charge them off from the panel and make a check only based on. I didn't. Oh, okay. Stop sharing, but okay. Yeah.
It's not possible to edit or create IDSs.
No.
Just
Yeah. We are just showed the validation of IFC against IDS. Yeah, we'll think about it, but we'll see about the request. At the moment, there are. It's more on not toolkit level, but on user interface level. So the only we saw here is just the only one interesting approach for IDS.
Do you support the whole schema? For example, the projected CRS, like the coordinate reference to the
IFC whole schema.
Can you read it and check it?
Yeah, if it's part of schema, we support all.
So you have
Yeah.
implemented the whole schema.
Yeah.
Is it only IFC 2H3 or is it, can you choose between IFC 2H3 and IFC 4 validation?
It's not exactly, it's IFC.3, it's IFC4, it's step, it's all schema based formats.
Okay.
So we extended because step has a bit other number of their rules, and therefore we extended it to step as well.
But there's no clear delimitation between this. You cannot choose specifically. Like you have this group of all specifications all together.
No. Why?
Everything is together, right?
No. It's not here. Just here you can keep filtering. But yeah, sure. You will not, because they have different even different checks for IFC4 and IFC 2.2x3.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No.
You
Yeah.
choose to run checks
Exactly.
only for IFC4 if you
Yeah.
have an IFC4.
Yeah, exactly.
But it looked like one checkbox only, so you couldn't choose in checkboxes.
It's based on the IFC version, I think.
Couple of days, and thanks to you, I think the whole summit has been seen that this really works and comes together. So thank you very much for participating.
And that is the end of the presentation.
Yeah, with 10 minutes left.
Yeah, let's be
So for those who want to prepare for dinner quickly, feel free to be dismissed. For those who want to try Ruben's voice commands in Japanese, please do that as well. Yeah, so you can hang around here and talk to the presenters and ask questions. But otherwise, I'll see you at dinner tonight.
Thank you everyone for joining us online.